All right, guys. Before we start off our show tonight, I just want to do a quick little shout out to our station manager, Matt McClellan. He just got a really sweet fade. I don't really have any reason for doing that, but man, that's just a slick looking haircut that boy has got. But anyway, you all know me, South Africa's sweetheart Billy Reed, coming at you live once again from the scenic U.S. University Center, just down the hall from the campus police. And you know me as normally the guy who plays all the Avril Lavigne songs here on Thursday nights. But tonight we're doing something a little different. Here for the first hour, I have a brand new show for you guys. We are here for Let's Talk Dinosaurs, where politics are boring, so we talk about dinosaurs. I'm joined tonight by two co-hosts. Why don't you guys tell them who you are?
Hi, I'm Charlie Sandifer, and I like dinosaurs, so yeah.
I'm Kirsten Fraze, and I also like dinosaurs. And Billy, that was a great intro. That was great.
Thank you. I was rehearsing it on the walk down the hall here.
That was flawless.
10 out of 10. What is this weekend?
Okay, so tonight, how this show's going to work is we're going to have a topic, obviously pertaining to dinosaurs, and we're just going to talk about it, say some facts and stuff, and then we're going to jump in with some random goofball commentary that you guys love me for. So tonight's episode, we're going to talk about early paleontology and like early weird misconceptions that we used to have about dinosaurs. So dinosaurs have been around for a long time, and they've been in the public consciousness for a long time as well. A lot of you guys might not know this, but dinosaurs were actually first discovered in the 1820s. Yeah, in England, of all places. So 1820s England, we had steampunk dinosaurs, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I just imagine like mohawks for some reason.
Right.
Like, all of them were like,
bunch
oh man.
Bunch of
Weird
dinosaurs
clothes
like
and
yeah,
stuff.
big canes, weird big monocles. They all said "milady." Butterscotch.
I hope not.
Dental plants were horrible back then.
That's so shocking that they discovered them in the 1820s.
In England.
We were
no
little,
less.
just a little bit late.
Yeah,
Just
we're-
a tad bit late.
just a little bit.
Just
So I'm just imagining a bunch of British dinosaurs now.
what do you think they thought about it when they first found everything?
Well, you see, that's the thing, is that when dinosaurs were first discovered, it was a pretty big deal because before dinosaurs, we already knew about like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and stuff. We knew that there were animals here before humans, but woolly mammoths are just big elephants. Saber-toothed tigers are just another species of big cat. So we could compare those pretty easily to other creatures. Dinosaurs were a bit of a different
We got
beast.
giant
Yeah.
crocodiles.
Bit of a different beast. We didn't really have a lot to compare them to at the time.
Yeah.
So, of course, first instinct, science tries to shove them under the rug by saying, nah, man. No, we don't have a dinosaur here. What we have here is a giant gator monster.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
A little bit of Godzilla for you.
Yeah, they thought they were crocodiles, thought they were fish. Because one particular dinosaur we're about to talk about here in a minute, its first remains uncovered were actually teeth instead of actual bones. So
Oh,
people
okay.
first tried to say, no, those aren't dinosaur teeth. Why would you say that? That's just,
What's a dinosaur?
yeah, fish, just fish. But I think the funniest one, though, is that people thought that dinosaurs were giant rhinos.
You know, I get why they thought that. You know, all of the gigantic legs, the big body, a lot of muscles. But at the same time,
How would they know about the muscles?
I don't know.
Or the dinosaurs just so swole that the muscles fossilized as well?
that they uncovered them with their remains.
Rocks.
They didn't skip
Their
anything.
muscles were so rock hard that. Do you even lift, bro? Like T-Rex might have small arms, but
my
man,
gosh.
that boy can bench.
Thick legs.
I think the T-Rex did a little bit too many leg days. He had a little bit too many leg days, and he missed
He
out on the
skipped arm day.
Yeah, he skipped
A
arm
few-
day.
Couldn't even run, you know?
So anyway, the first dinosaur that was officially ever identified was Megalosaurus. And Megalosaurus was a carnivore. It was a theropod, which is the overarching family of dinosaurs that T-Rex and Velociraptor belong to. So basically think of it like this. T-Rex is like the Nintendo Switch. All right?
Okay.
It's new, it's hip, everybody wants
Ooh.
it. But this was long before that. So Megalosaurus is like the Atari. He was pretty groundbreaking for his day.
Dang, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. Pretty
that.
pretty groundbreaking for his day. You know, he had Pong. Everybody loves Pong. So Megalosaurus, we now know, was not exactly a T-Rex. It was bit of a smaller one. And, you know, a little pop culture trivia for you here. For anyone
then
who
I'm gonna fail.
well,
no.
you know, back in the '90s, there was an ABC sitcom called Dinosaurs. It was about a
Oh
bunch.
my gosh.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know how
was-
you all know literally everything. Everything that has the word dinosaur in it, you're like, oh man, I love that.
Well, you see, I was an only child who had no friends.
I took the dinosaur class
You know-
and I saw pictures. I don't want to see anymore.
But anyway, so ABC used to have this sitcom called Dinosaurs, and it was about it was basically a Simpsons knockoff if the Simpsons were dinosaurs, and the not Homer of the family of dinosaurs was Earl Sinclair, a true everyman.
Oh my lord, that was a harsh slam.
Well, you know, I'm very serious about Earl Sinclair. Like Earl Sinclair, man, what a legend.
I've never
But
loved
anyway, Earl Sinclair was meant to be a megalosaurus. So there you go. Big T-Rex had Jurassic Park. Megalosaurus had dinosaurs on Friday nights on ABC
Love that.
in the 90s. But
Oh,
anyway,
it's such a downgrade for T-Rex, you know?
okay. But anyway, when Megalosaurus was actually first uncovered, people didn't really know what to make of it. Because here's the thing, and this is still true to this day. Most dinosaur species out there, we only really know them from 2 or 3 bones that we find. And we just make guesses based on their closest living relatives. Now, back then, there were no relatives. This was all completely just off-the-cuff guesswork. Guesswork, not guesswork.
Guesswork.
It was guesswork, you
We
know.
fly out these.
Yeah, those those British, they didn't have time to deal with the dinosaurs. So all the foreigners that would come in, they'd be like, "Oi, bub."
Please
Aye.
don't do the accent. Please, I'm begging you. Please don't do
No,
that.
it's
Okay.
I'm
No
offended.
accent.
shutting it down
You're-
right there.
I'm
you're
offended. I'm not even English.
You're
and I'm
offended by
offended.
my bad British accent.
Worse than Dick Van Dyke's and Mary Poppins.
Could talk in my Australian accent. Crikey Struth. Epic Steakhouse. Okay. Back to work. But anyway.
I'm missing class for this.
Anyway, so the first interpretation of Megalosaurus, because we didn't really know what to make of this thing at first, the first interpretation was that they thought this thing walked on 4 legs, and it looked more like a cross between a hyena and an alligator.
Hyena.
I don't know, what would you call this thing? You guys can't see it at home, but I printed out these
one?
little outlines for us, and I got pictures on here.
Is this
of
one?
Yes, the
Oh.
one on the bottom there.
It
that
looks
thing.
like a hippo.
It
A
looks like a
hippo.
rat mixed with a lizard.
That's a
with
big
little horn
frickin'
on its
rat.
nose. I mean, yeah,
That's a
but
giant rat.
I'm just saying. It looks like
like a
it
4-ton
looks
rat.
stupid, like a 5-year-old drew it.
I don't know. It
Well,
looks like
it was-
a very mean hippo
with a big alligator tail.
with like
apparently.
it's like a crocodile and a hippo put together. I don't know. The ears on it, are those ears?
I
Or
don't.
is that just like
I mean,
shading?
reptiles don't have. Well, I mean, reptiles have ears, but they're not like.
There's little
regular
holes in the side of
ears.
your ears.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I don't
like
know.
it looks like a little flap for an ear, but I don't know if that's like shading the light or something. You can't.
I'm
see
really
the pictures
sorry
we're
that you
talking
guys
about.
can't see this right
Yeah.
now. I just put these on our little outline for today.
Put the
just
pictures
for
on
reference.
Instagram.
Yeah, I'll post this on Instagram later. By the way, follow our Instagram
He
and
is
Twitter.
screaming about
yeah,
it.
please follow our social medias. We're at Let's Talk Dinos on Twitter and at Let's Talk Dinosaurs on Instagram. But anyway.
Good plug. Good plug.
Yeah, good. I was gonna save that for the end of the show, but then
Hey.
you had to jump in there.
You're welcome.
But anyway, yeah, people had Megalosaurus all wrong.
Obviously.
But see, a couple years after Megalosaurus, there was another dinosaur that was found, the second one ever identified, and this was a fan favorite to this day of many dinosaur heads, the iguanodon.
Oh, okay.
That's like Aladar in the movie Dinosaur, right?
Yes, thank you. I was just about to say that.
Great
For
reference
those of you
point
who
for
grew up
our fans.
watching the Disney movie Dinosaur, the main dinosaur in that was an iguanodon.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, with the
Got
monkeys
it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
where he hung out with the
Got it.
monkeys.
A
and-
scary beginning with like the Carnosaur and stuff. It's wild.
I got
Love
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good. That was a good show.
My childhood was right there.
That was a good show.
The movie itself, I don't really like it that much, but the ride at Animal Kingdom is
Okay, maybe
oh,
you're
man.
redeemed. Okay.
So good. But anyway, so iguanodon was the next dinosaur found, and it was like for every action there is an equal or opposite reaction. First we find a carnivore, next we find an herbivore. So right away, the only thing that was found of iguanodon was teeth.
Wait. I have a question. How did they know which one was carnivore and which one was herbivore?
Teeth. So carnivores have
'Kay.
sharp dagger teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Herbivores have flat grinding teeth for like grinding plants and stuff. That's how you know the difference. So like you have canines in your teeth because like we're omnivores.
Yeah.
You also have the molars in the back, which are for more for like grinding up.
You guys are so intelligent.
right.
This is great. Keep going.
Well, we got to educate people.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, this show can't all be goofball commentary.
Oh well, we'll see about that.
I'm the killjoy here. That's why I'm here, guys. Hey,
Hey, we love you, Charlie.
thank you. Somebody does.
You're doing great.
But anyway, so iguanodon. The name iguanodon actually means iguana tooth because when scientists first find this thing, after they actually, because like there was a big debate for years as to whether or not they should actually identify this thing as a species or not. Because first, all we had of it were teeth. You know, it's funny too because the guy, I think his name was Mantell. Yeah, Gideon Mantell.
Yeah.
Over in England, who discovered iguanodon. The first remains he actually found of it were teeth, and he was a dentist. So bit of
He got
irony.
too obsessed and his wife left him. Hey,
Yeah,
fun
that's
fact.
actually true. Early paleontologists had really depressing lives.
Oh, did they just like not have any?
But there
Well,
was-
you see, they did have lives, and they discovered dinosaurs, and then their
Oh,
wives
were-
were
and they
just
freaked out, right?
yeah.
a lot of hobbyists, like one of the Mary Anning, things like that. She just walked along the seashore with a bucket and was like, "Look at this!" Threw in the bucket, and then it was a dinosaur
And-
later.
Oh,
If
okay.
you really want a sad story, look up what happened to Mary Anning's dog. Let's not talk about it, guys. Let's not talk
It's
about
homework for today on the Horizon.
I'll look it up
Dinosaur Talk
later.
Show.
it. Yeah, for all you who are curious, look up Mary Anning. She was an old fossil collector from back, not old at the time, but back in the day. She was one of like the pioneers of fossil hunting.
important.
And she used to have a dog that she took with her on her hunts, which little pupper went out swinging. But
Lord.
anyway.
We'll figure out
They
what
did
that
not
is
find
later,
a real
apparently.
Let's not bring the mood down. So
Okay.
iguanodon. The only thing that prompted scientists to actually identify iguanodon as a species were the fact that eventually we found a full skeleton of this thing. And like I said before, not all dinosaur skeletons are discovered complete. The first iguanodon skeleton was a mess. So they put this thing together. They didn't put it together exactly right. So, like I said, the name iguanodon means iguana tooth. Well, early paleontologists thought that iguanodon was just a giant iguana.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bit of a
And
problem.
one of iguanodon's defining features that we know of today is that it had these little spikes on its hands. They were kind of like thumbs that it would use to defend itself from predators way back when.
Oh.
And when they first found this spike, it was detached from the hand. It was broken off. So scientists thought this wasn't a thumb, this wasn't a finger, this was a horn.
Oh,
So-
is that where the rhino thing came in? Maybe, possibly.
Sorta,
Good.
kinda,
Right.
not really. I think
I'm
I
just
think the
theorizing.
rhino thing came more from like back when we only found like before we had like a full skeleton of a dinosaur and we just found like femurs and stuff.
Okay.
Because dinosaur femurs look a lot like rhino or elephant femurs.
Oh,
And, yeah.
got it. Okay.
So yeah, people thought iguanodon was just a giant iguana with a big old horn on its schnozola.
A
And,
schnozola?
Yeah, schnozola. I said
Lovely.
that.
Okay.
And fun fact, there's still, I don't know where it is. It's in London somewhere, but there's this park that was back in the day. It was like the original Jurassic Park. You know, it was
Yeah.
steampunk Jurassic Park,
Aw.
pretty much. And there was this park where they had these two huge monuments that were built for I almost said megalodon. God, I hate myself for that. For Megalosaurus and Iguanodon, which were the old 1820s versions. So you've got the giant hippo gator and the giant rhino iguana.
The hippo gator.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You've got the giant hippo gator and the giant rhino iguana.
Okay.
Which they never actually updated those. So if you want to see some giant, out-of-date dinosaurs, you want to go look at those. And it didn't help back then that people also didn't really have a good idea of how big these things were based on bones. So they thought, okay, well, these are big bones. Obviously, we were dealing with kaiju-sized monsters here.
Oh, like Godzilla kind of thing?
Not like Godzilla huge, but you see, in real life, Iguanodon would have been about the size of, I want to say, a little, like maybe about like 2 ice cream trucks back to back. So
Oh.
big, maybe like a little bit bigger than an elephant.
Okay.
But so big, but back then they thought Iguanodon was like a giant 30-foot tall, 60-foot long beast.
Oh, that's
So,
wrong.
Yeah, that's a little wrong. Same thing for Megalosaurus, which we know now. Megalosaurus was about the size of a pickup truck, which
Gotcha.
big, but compared to a T-Rex, that's nothing. They thought Megalosaurus was even bigger than Iguanodon because they thought it was the predator, so it had to be the bigger one.
Oh, they didn't know about the Big Daddy.
Oh no, we're gonna be getting to that. We're gonna be getting to that. So anyway, moving on here. Eventually, Megalosaurus and Iguanodon, we found out more about them, and they all lived happily ever after. But let me tell you, some boys that had it even rougher back in the day. Most people know them as pterodactyls, but they're I'm gonna drop some
Pterodactyls.
knowledge on you, you boys here.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry, just my dino nerd pretentiousness showing through here. Pterodactyl only refers to one species, and that's Pterodactylus.
Ooh.
Pterodactyl is just a nickname for that one species. The true overarching family that these things belong to is called pterosaurs. They're not actually dinosaurs. They're under the larger umbrella called archosaurs of different reptiles back then, but the true family there is pterosaurs. And the creature that most people know as pterodactyl, that thing, that big flying thing with the big crest on the back of its head, that's actually called pteranodon. That's not that's not even the pterodactylus.
Jurassic Park 3. Hey.
Yeah.
I'm really
Actually,
angry.
pteranodons have been in every Jurassic Park movie except for the first one.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true
How do
knowledge.
you figure that out? Like you're just
You
like,
watch
oh,
it so
didn't
many
see
times,
any of
and
those.
you're just like,
Because
that thing.
what do you mean? How do you figure it out? That's the only movie they're not in.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a movie analyzer, and I don't look for specific things.
Well, and I got another one for you here. The
Okay.
4 dinosaurs that are in every Jurassic Park movie: T-Rex, Velociraptor, Triceratops, Parasaurolophus.
what is that?
Ducky from Land Before Time.
Duckbills.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ducky
Oh,
from Land Before Time.
got
yeah.
it. Okay, got it.
But anyway, pterosaurs. So the discovery of pterosaurs actually predates dinosaurs. These were discovered
Oh.
in 1784. So this was a long time
Yeah,
before we ever
early
discovered
America.
dinosaurs. So that's crazy. Pterosaurs have been around for a very long time, and we didn't really have a lot to compare them to because pterosaurs, anatomy speaking, are very, very different to modern day flying animals. Like, we don't have any flying reptiles today. So the only other flying animals they had to compare these to were birds and bats. And considering these didn't really... What's so funny?
Just keep reading this bulletin point that says.
Okay, I'm going to get to that. I promise. Don't spoil our audience
Okay,
here.
okay,
I'm
okay,
so
okay.
sorry. So sorry,
having a good
ladies
time.
and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. It's really funny for me. I don't know. It's probably not funny to anybody else but me.
But
it's okay.
anyway, there were a lot of theories as to what exactly pterosaurs were, and one of the earliest ones was just that they were weird ducks.
Make
Pretty
me laugh.
much. Just really, really weird-looking duck-like creatures. Like, first people thought they were birds. Then a little bit of analysis discovered these weren't really birds, they were closer to reptiles, which is actually what they turned out being. So the next theory that gained a lot of traction is that they were sea creatures. And this theory was supported for a very long time. This was supported all the way up until the 1830s.
I can get that. I can get behind that one.
Yeah, because they thought their wings were flippers.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
they thought they were reptilian penguins, which is a really terrifying idea.
I love that
You
image
actually
in my head.
think about what scaly penguins. That's Happy Feet would be a lot less
Scaly
cute
penguins?
if it was about these giant scaly things.
Oh yeah,
dancing around.
Happy Feet was such a good movie. Sorry, I
You
just
know,
love that
personally,
movie.
my favorite penguin movie, Surf's Up.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
It's got a John Heater, Napoleon Dynamite.
Shia
as
LaBeouf?
the yeah, Shia LaBeouf is
The
in
real
it.
star of that
No,
movie?
Jeff Bridges
Come on,
is
dude.
in that movie.
So wait, is that considered a bird or a sea creature?
What?
Penguins,
Penguins are birds.
but which one more so, in your opinion?
They're technically classified as birds.
Okay,
thought
but
this
are
was a
they
dinosaur
also sea
show.
creatures?
Yeah, this is a dinosaur show.
I know, but I'm also going by our points. I'm not
Well,
trailing too
sorry.
far behind.
By sea creatures on here, I meant that pterosaurs were still considered reptiles, but it was thought they were marine creatures.
Okay.
Like sea turtles. Modern day sea
Gotcha.
turtles are technically reptiles, but they spend most of their lives in the water.
Okay.
So that's what it was thought pterosaurs were until about 1830, when it was realized, no, wait, these things didn't live in the water. No, they lived in the they flew. They flew in the sky. But
God.
because they were like, nah, flying reptiles, that's stupid. So, you know what it was thought that pterosaurs were? It's true. It was thought that they were flying possums. I cannot make this up.
I have never seen it. You
Flying
gotta post this picture on Instagram because this picture is really freaking funny.
Them
Oh,
are
yeah.
good eating.
I put this picture here on our outline that shows an interpretation of a flying possum pterosaur.
They
and,
look terrifying.
It is. Well, a flying possum is terrifying.
Yeah,
okay?
that's
'Cause-
scary.
Imagine that in Jurassic Park 3 and still the giant lizard thing, just a screeching possum, you know?
Ew. No.
Ah!
Oh. That's the one scene in that movie that I like too.
Did you just ruin?
You just
you
ruined.
just ruined it for
You
him.
just ruined the only thing
Charlie!
about that movie. Charlie, you're
I think
fired.
I made it better.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, no, that's my
yeah,
thing. No,
Charlie,
take that away.
you're fired, Charlie. I'm sorry.
Bye, Charlie.
I
But
already
Sorry.
go
anyway,
yet.
yeah, flying
Have 10
possums.
minutes.
I mean, because like around here in the boondocks of southern Indiana, we have possums here, and they're the
Oh, yeah.
scariest things ever.
They're
Like,
good eating.
ugh.
That's what they are.
They're terrifying. And, like a flying one
Hidden
of-
wings. Oh my gosh.
What?
Those are
Yeah.
the bats that you see at night that you can't make them out, but it's like flying possums.
It's like a chupacabra-like thing.
Like a
New theory.
Dang it, Ma, get out of here. We done got flying possums, boys. Hey, Brandine, throw out that beaver. I done got me a flying possum.
Get
Oh my
so going.
gosh. I love that.
But anyway, eventually, around the time that dinosaurs were becoming a big deal in the world of science, it was discovered that pterosaurs had a lot more in common with dinosaurs than they did with possums.
Okay, finally.
So in
getting
about
there.
in about the 1840s, pterosaurs were officially classified as reptiles, and the term pterosaur was finally made, and we put these things in the family where they belong. I just want to talk a little bit more about the flying possums, because
I don't know. Like those. I can't get over how terrifying they look.
well, I don't think they would have actually.
Because they have.
You see Clyde the Chance of Meatballs?
Yes.
Yeah, the rat lizards that are flying. It's
The-
like
the
those.
rat birds.
The rat
Rat
birds. Yeah, it looks just like that for our audiences at home.
Red birds on Cloudy with a chance of.
Flintlock Wood. Mr. T's finest work,
Right?
right there. So yeah, pterosaurs had it pretty rough, but the next boy we got to talk about here, and
Ooh, best
this
boy.
one right here, this is a true everyman of the dinosaur world. This thing, it's been there for all of us. It's been there. It knows our struggles. It's the Hank Hill of dinosaurs. All right, back in the day, he was back there at the ye olde Strickland Propane, selling propane and propane accessories. I'm talking about a dang old Stegosaurus, man. You missed Charlie. You missed my Boomhauer.
Ooh.
You were texting and you missed my Boomhauer
Charlie.
impression.
He's fired again.
Yeah, you're fired again, Charlie.
Is this gonna be like a weekly bit now? Does Charlie gets fired every
Yeah,
session?
Charlie gets fired.
Have you seen? Okay, so this is a question related to Stegosaurus before you really get into it. Have
Okay.
you seen the Asdef movie? Where it's Asdef movie. Have you ever heard of those? Those things-
ASDF?
Yes.
I am a Stegosaurus.
My time machine works. I am a Stegosaurus.
Is it copyright maybe? I don't know.
I don't know if we're allowed to play that.
It's okay. I'm fired again. It's okay.
What do you mean it's okay? We can get fined for that.
No.
Okay, that never happened.
Please
Never
don't sue
happened.
us.
If anyone asks, it was Charlie's fault. So
Sorry, Charlie.
Okay.
Charlie, I think you're fired for about the 8th time tonight. I don't know. I
That
haven't
happened to
been-
me a lot.
I
It's
haven't-
because you're the new guy.
Yeah, when you were on the morning show.
I got fired like 8 times.
Oh.
So anyway, Stegosaurus. Everybody knows Stegosaurus. That's like one of the most well-known dinosaurs. You know,
Spike.
Yeah, Spike, one of the true intellectuals of our time. Spike from the Land Before Time. He never said a word. He just wanted to eat. Like,
I relate.
a true patriot right there.
Yes.
A true blue legend of the dinosaur
Yeah.
world. So everybody loves Stegosaurus. Just the classic all-American simpleton of a dinosaur. It's true, only had the brain the size of a walnut. But that's actually not that special because a lot of plant-eating dinosaurs were very stupid.
Yeah.
They didn't need the brain power. They just get food and take a nap, man. That's fine.
Yeah, carnivores were a lot smarter. You know, Jurassic Park always puts a big emphasis on the raptors, but a lot of carnivores were really intelligent. You know, a T-Rex was actually about as smart as a modern-day cat.
That's still not very smart.
Well, not very smart, no, but like
Sorry, cat lovers.
that's yeah. Which, you know, if you think about it, you could probably distract a T-Rex with a laser pointer.
Probably. Oh my gosh, that would have been so much fun.
Yeah,
They do it with flares in the movie.
you just blew my mind, man.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
This poor Ian Malcolm gets taken out.
I don't think we have a point. There's no point in continuing this show.
Oh,
Charlie's
we're canceled.
Dropped the biggest bombshell of knowledge on us right there.
We're canceled.
But anyway, so Stegosaurus was a dinosaur that was first discovered in 1877, which was during a period of time called the Bone Wars. Now, here's the thing. After dinosaurs became really, really big in the public consciousness, it sparked this huge, almost gold rush of dinosaurs.
Oh, okay.
Like every hobbyist with a shovel and their mom were going out into the hellholes of the world to try and find the next big thing.
That was a good
So-
sentence. That was a good sentence, by the way.
Thank you.
Anyone with a shovel and their mom. I like that.
Yeah.
Continue.
So any moron with a shovel was going out there trying to find whatever they could. And a lot of like the really famous dinosaurs, like all the big ones were found during this time period, like Velociraptor, Triceratops, Allosaurus. Well, okay, only real ones know Allosaurus. Okay, he's a pretty big in the know creature. You got to be in a special circle to know Al, Big Al,
Big
as
Al.
we like to.
Big Al.
Like, come
Cars, isn't
on,
it?
Kirsten, you don't know Big Al?
I'm looking at it. Hang on.
Big Al.
Big Al.
I've seen a lot of dinosaurs in my day. Okay.
It's in
I don't
Cars
know.
where the big like
In
figures
what?
like called Big Al. The Cars movie. You know
Big
Cars?
Al.
Big Al?
Yeah, no.
Which one was Big Al?
It's just me. I don't know. It's like what they call like the street paver or something
Wait.
like that.
Big Al.
Oh,
Hang on,
no,
wait.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, man.
I'm
The
so
street
lost.
paver in Cars. No, forget Allosaurus. Look up what was the name of the street paver thing in Cars.
It wasn't Big Al. Big Al was just a
no.
random
Oh,
character
it's
name.
it's Lightning McQueen's biggest fan.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
trailer park thing.
Okay. So,
Big Al.
Remember,
Love
this is a
that.
dinosaur show.
yeah,
though.
we're talking about dinosaurs, guys.
We're working on it.
So anyway, no, we got to keep people entertained. This
Yeah.
is good. So anyway, Stegosaurus was discovered during the Bone Wars. And Stegosaurus, you see, it was the center of some controversy. Because during the Bone Wars, there were two paleontologists. And these guys...
Just two?
Well, no, there were two big
Big
ones.
ones.
I was
Two
gonna say,
big
I was like,
ones.
just two.
And there was Leonard Cope, pretty normal name. Sounds like a nerd. I think that
I mean, he
sounds like
probably
he
is.
probably was a nerd. It
Yeah.
sounds like a character on The Big Bang Theory. But
That does.
the other one, his dude's name was Othniel Charles Marsh. Dude's name was Othniel.
Othniel? Like,
what I'm
how
gonna
do
name my
you
kids now.
spell it? Othniel.
It's
Wait.
Oth Neil.
Othniel.
Othniel.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I've
that-
never.
Dude's name was Othniel. It was the 18 something whatever. I don't know. That was probably.
1877.
It was probably a family name.
Probably.
I can
That's
just
a
imagine him out there in the log cabin out in the boondocks.
cabin. Well,
Yeah,
no.
we'll name that one Othniel. Why not?
Got
That
to
was
start
my
flying
great
possums.
great grandpappy's
At
name.
least no one will ever have that name.
Oh, I don't. Somebody did.
Well, maybe he was the first one.
Maybe in like some retirement home in Arkansas.
Maybe they were like, we're
somewhere,
tired of O'Neill.
There's a guy named Othniel somewhere. I don't know, but that's
Off-brand Othniel.
that's a really stupid name. But anyway,
That's rude.
I'm sorry.
He
look,
is rolling in his grave.
Yeah. What if he's not dead yet?
I would be shocked.
For all you know, he could still
He
be.
was working in 1877. I'm gonna be.
Well, he was into keto, you know. He
Oh,
keeps
okay.
him
Well,
alive.
maybe
He was-
I guess.
He did cardio, you know. Anyway, so Othniel Charles Marsh, man, that's a stupid name. He was the first guy who first discovered and identified Stegosaurus. But his buddy Leonard Cope, him and Cope were big rivals back in their day. They butted heads on a lot of things. So back in the day, they were really arguing over Stegosaurus because we didn't really have a very good specimen of it. Like the plates on its back, when they first discovered it, they weren't in the spot that we know them to be now. They were kind of misshapen. So first, they thought Stegosaurus was a giant turtle.
Yes.
Sounds like their track record.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds like
well,
that.
at least they didn't think it was a giant possum or anything stupid. A giant
Possum
anteater,
with
maybe. I don't
spikes
know.
on its back.
A giant spike.
Giant anteater. I like that one. They should have went with that one.
Anteater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anteaters are cute.
Anteaters are terrifying. I don't trust them. You've seen the claws on those things?
They are scary.
They're the scariest things. Oh, Charlie, it's 6:30. You gotta.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go. Thanks
yeah.
for listening, guys. I'm out of here. I actually got fired just now. Hey.
Yeah. Everybody at home, let's hear it for Charlie. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Charlie.
reading, Charlie.
Yeah.
All right, bye, Charlie. I'm sorry you have to leave right when we're about to talk about Stegosaurus. You don't know it right now, Charlie, but you probably just got several people.
Make sure to fire me one more time in the broadcast.
Oh, I should turn his mic off.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Have a good class, Charlie.
All right, so, man, there goes a true legend right there. We may never see him again. Anyway, so it was first thought that Stegosaurus was a giant turtle. It was thought that the plates on its back were actually a big shell. All right, which not too bad compared to some of the
that's
other
not that bad.
compared to some of the other stuff
Flying
that we've heard. Flying
possums.
possums, giant hippo gators.
Hippo gators.
Compared to some of the other stuff we've heard tonight, giant turtle is, that's a compliment.
That's not that bad.
That's a compliment,
Yeah.
really. But then, some more studies happened. And it was found that Stegosaurus was actually a dinosaur. So finally, we're on the right track.
Great.
So then here comes the question, what the heck are these plates for? Well, I forget whether it was Cope or our buddy Moth Fred or whatever his name was.
Moth Fred.
Yeah, Moth Fred. That's,
Okay.
that's a better name than Othniel.
That's a cooler name.
Yeah, it's Moth Fred. That's what we're calling him now. I forget which one of them came up with this idea, but they thought that the plates on Stegosaurus's back would have overlapped like shingles on a roof, and that they could kind of retract, like go up and down for some. I don't know what purpose that would serve.
You know, but that's not an awful theory. That's not awful.
No, it's not terrible.
That's not flying possum bad.
The newer we get here, the less exciting these things become. Like, we spent the whole first half hour here just talking about how horribly cringy, like,
We're very
steampunk
cringy.
dinosaurs were. And now it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but now we're gaining hope.
Yeah, we're gaining
a
hope for
little bit.
humanity.
Yeah.
We're getting a little hope here. So then the name Stegosaurus came from the idea that the plates were kind of like shingles, because the name Stegosaurus means a roof lizard.
I love that, by the way. Just a side note, a roof lizard?
Roof lizard, yeah.
I love that. That is so creative. JK, that's not creative at all. But
What's creative to you?
a lot of different things.
Look, I've heard some really stupid dinosaur names, okay? There are a
True.
lot of dumb ones out there. You know Megalosaurus? You know what that means?
What?
That means great lizard.
You know,
Great. Allosaurus that we were talking about. You know what Allosaurus means?
What?
That literally means other lizard.
I feel attacked.
Other lizard.
They tried, okay?
No, they didn't
I'm
try.
trying to defend them.
Other lizard? Would you want to be the other lizard?
That's true.
Who was the
I would-
first lizard?
I would be upset if
And
I was
you
called
know
the
what?
other
I
lizard.
I really feel bad for Allosaurus there, because Allosaurus is twice the size of Megalosaurus. So Megalosaurus
Yeah,
is the
okay.
great. Megalosaurus is the great lizard. Allosaurus is the other lizard.
Yeah, now I feel bad. Okay, I get it.
I feel
understand.
bad for Allosaurus.
I feel bad for a lot of these dinosaurs.
He's
that
had a
were,
rough go at things.
They were already dead and they were being disrespected on their grave.
Yeah,
I feel bad for them.
Early dinosaurs.
But
were,
roof lizard, or roof lizard. That one's a new one.
But it gets better here. As
Okay.
the more crazy ideas for what Stegosaurus looked like came in, we get to this one that I've got the picture of right here on our outline.
'Kay.
This thing looks like some kind of weird cross between a brontosaurus, a turtle, maybe a little bit of hedgehog, and an alligator.
Porcupine. Because I'm imagining those things shooting out of it.
Okay, so people eventually came to the idea that Stegosaurus was this thing that walked on two legs.
Okay.
It had a really long neck. Its face looked like a turtle. It had spikes all over its back, and its tail looks kind of like an alligator tail. I don't really know.
Again, this isn't as bad.
It's not as
It's
bad.
not as bad.
No, it's not as bad as what we've been hearing, but
If I would have
It's
been
not
like living back
good.
then and they would have been like, this dinosaur stood on two legs, had little pointy things on its back.
that looks stupid, and you can't deny it.
But I would be like, okay, like, all right.
Okay,
Let's roll with
It's not
it.
that hard of a pill to swallow.
But yeah, because I'm not someone who's gonna be like, I'm gonna go out there and research it myself. Like I'd be like,
You should
okay,
always
fine.
question the man, especially when it comes to dinosaurs.
That's true, especially new discoveries too. But
We always, like, back then this was current events. Like, this was the late 1800s. There was nothing going on except industrialization. Who cares about that? So they are.
But this is like a good way to put your kids to bed. Like if they're like acting up and you're like, oh,
You kids behave in there, or I'm gonna go get the flying possum.
that would be a good bedtime story to scare your kids to death and make sure they don't do anything bad for the rest of their lives.
Mummy, can you check under me bed for hippo gators?
What is that accent?
I don't know. I was just scared British child.
Oh my lord.
I'm just a muggle on me way to Hogwarts, making a delivery for he who must not be named.
We're not going into Hogwarts. I refuse. I refuse.
Okay, so let's talk more about the lizard. So anyway, scientists were in this big back and forth for a very long time over what exactly Stegosaurus looked like. Eventually, another interpretation that came around of it was one that looked more like the Stegosaurus we know.
Okay.
But it was thought that the spikes were on its back and the plates were on its tail. And it's funny because that was laughed at whenever it was disproven. But now there's actually a dinosaur that we've discovered called Kentrosaurus, which is exactly like that. It's Stegosaurus, but it has the spikes on its back and the plates on its tail.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just
That's always been a
reversed.
classic one. Like that. I'm looking at the picture on here. And that's a classic dinosaur.
Stegosaurus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stegosaurus is a real OG.
Yeah, of
Like
course
I
it
said,
is.
it's the everyman.
Yeah.
I miss Charlie.
I know.
It seems like the kind of thing that he would have come in on some kind of weird
I
commentary
know.
on.
Charlie, we miss you already.
Yeah, we miss you, Charlie.
You only been gone for like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
Man, I miss him.
I know.
What a true blue legend.
Always
right there.
remembered.
So anyway, eventually our modern-ish idea of Stegosaurus was adopted in 1914, but it still underwent a couple of changes over the years. Like back then, we thought that all dinosaurs dragged their tails on the ground. That's not true in the least. So especially for Stegosaurus, that would have been an inconvenience because its tail was an
All of
absolute
those.
unit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dragging that on the ground, like it would get its tail caught in a bush or something with those spikes.
That
you
would have
know?
been
That's
so funny.
maybe that's how they went
That's
extinct.
how they went extinct
Yeah.
because they got their tail caught on a bush.
Oh my God, dang it.
I'll catch up with you guys later.
Yeah, just
Hang on.
leave me here for the Allosaurus, boys. I've failed. So yeah, Stegosaurus is a good boy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But we got one more boy to talk about today.
Oh,
And
yeah, we do.
This is a big one. You know, I couldn't go through today, our first episode, without closing out on the best, the Nintendo Switch of dinosaurs, the Christmas of dinosaurs, the cherry flavored icy of the Friday of dinosaurs.
Dang.
Yeah. I'm just coming up with all these good things.
That was good.
Yeah, the Friday of dinosaurs.
That was good.
The very dinosaur that we used for our mascot right over there. I'm going to post this on our Instagram after the show.
Our mascot
But,
is the best.
Yeah, I went to Kroger and bought one of those stupid Halloween T-Rex skeletons.
No, he's
Yeah.
real. Don't tell them that.
Oh,
We dug him out of the campus ourselves.
okay, there are no dinosaurs on this campus. The only dinosaur on this campus is Matt's taste in music, okay?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I said that. I said
Sorry,
that.
Matt.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Matt, but it's kind of true.
Wow. We're making enemies on the show.
No, we're not making enemies. Matt knows we complimented his fade.
That's true.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Are we even it out?
We opened our whole show to discussing Matt's sweet fade.
So that way we could talk about his poor taste in music.
No, it's not a poor taste in music. It's just old.
Prehistoric.
It's very prehistoric.
Just like this next dinosaur.
Just like all the, that's not even funny. That's as opposed to what? A 21st century dinosaur? A Gen Z, a T-pose Rex?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, okay. T-pose Rex. Somebody make
Oh
that
my
a T-shirt.
lord. Oh no. Oh, the tiny little arms. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
We gotta make this. A
I
thing.
will get that as a t-shirt.
But anyway, Tyrannosaurus freaking
Woo!
Rex. Yeah. What?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
The Big
So
Daddy.
anyway, T-Rex was first discovered in 1874. But at that point, we only had teeth to go on. So there wasn't really enough here to officially declare T-Rex its own species. But in 1905, and I love this because Fred and Cope, they didn't even discover T-Rex. That was Henry Osborn discovered T-Rex. I know, he totally sounds like a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Totally. Not to be confused with Harry Osborn. James Franco, if by some miracle you're listening to this. Loved you in the Disaster Artist, bro, but we're not talking
He's
about you
totally
here.
tuning in right now.
Yeah, he's probably stoned out of his mind somewhere right
Ooh,
now.
the
So-
shade. Okay.
Everyone knows James Franco is a
You don't
stoner.
have to call him out like that on live radio.
He's probably somewhere like, oh, I don't care. You can say what you want, man. Hey, Seth, pass bong. Yeah.
I apologize for these accents. They are never going to stop.
No, they're never. You should have known better than that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But anyway, in 1905, Henry Osborn discovered the first skeleton of what would go on to be known as T-Rex. And right away, they knew they were onto something here. No real dinosaur discovery has quite shaken the world of paleontology quite as much as the T-Rex did. Because at the time, the biggest known carnivore we had was Allosaurus, which was about 30 feet long and about 10 feet tall at the hips. So it was pretty big. T-Rex is about 46 feet long and about 14 feet tall. So T-Rex dwarfed that. There have been a couple of carnivores discovered here and there that were bigger than T-Rex, but none that like dwarfed it.
Yeah.
The way T-Rex dwarfed Allosaurus back in the day. So T-Rex completely just shook everything. They were hashtag shooketh. I hate myself for saying that.
It's okay.
But anyway,
it was needed. It was necessary.
So T-Rex is a pretty big deal. People knew right away because this thing was also the first dinosaur that was discovered of its family. the Tyrannosaur family. Very creative name. They
Oh, yeah.
named it after the first one discovered. So we had nothing to compare it to. It was a brand new thing, a blank slate. All we knew is that this thing was huge, and just based on the structure of its skull and the structure of its teeth, we knew it was a lot more of an advanced predator than other meat-eating dinosaurs that we knew before. Because the thing is, interesting about T-Rex is that its teeth, where other carnivores, like say Megalosaurus that we talked about earlier, its teeth were a lot more like knives. They were pretty flat, they were really sharp. They were designed just to rip and tear and just, tear things pretty much.
Okay.
T-Rex's teeth were more blunt. They were more like big railroad spikes. They were a lot bigger, though.
Oh,
T-Rex
okay.
actually has the biggest teeth of any land animal that ever lived.
That's quite a
The
title.
biggest teeth in its mouth are about 12 inches long.
Oh wow.
So
That's
they were
that's
a lot,
incredible.
But the reason they were so bigger is because T-Rex didn't have time for just ripping and tearing flesh like that. T-Rex was designed to kill its prey from the inside out. It was designed to crush bone and just generally ruin
Just wreck
ruin
it.
its day.
Just wreck it. Destroy it.
So basically, nothing had a chance if a T-Rex decided it wanted to eat it. So before we settled on T-Rex, there were a lot of names. there were a lot of prototype names here. The first one, oh man, this is a mouthful. It's why I wrote it down. Manospondylus. Manospondylus.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up and see if I can figure it out.
Manospondylus.
What does it mean?
I don't.
Because that is an
know.
interesting name.
I don't know what that means.
Meaning, whoa, porous vertebra. So it's a stupid. It's like a stupid name.
Very
it's not even
stupid
cool.
name.
It's not even like other. It's not even other
And
dinosaur or
then
whatever.
The other lizard.
Thank you,
You're
thank
thinking
you.
of Allosaurus?
Yes, thank you.
You call him Allosaurus. Okay, he deserves it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
He deserves it.
apologize.
I'm
I'm so sorry, Allosaurus.
She's sorry, Allosaurus.
Yeah, I'm very sorry.
They're
I
up there in
apologize.
dinosaur heaven right now watching us.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna get haunted by an Allosaurus ghost.
That would be so cool.
It's like Poltergeist, but it's an Allosaurus.
I hope it's not like manifesting. Because that would be terrifying.
You're gonna go home and look in the bathroom mirror. You're gonna like
No.
shut the medicine cabinet. And there's just gonna be an Allosaurus staring. That'd be terrifying.
That would be
actually.
scary.
But anyway.
Or like I feel the breathing and the saliva dripping down my shoulder and I'm like, it's happening.
The Amityville Allosaurus. Allonormal activity. Okay. We're stopping this
Okay,
now.
okay.
So the next name for T-Rex, this one I like. I
Okay.
hope they use this for a dinosaur someday. Dynamosaurus.
Dynamo.
Dinosaurus.
I like that.
Well, you
Okay,
know,
I do
you know
like
what
that.
comes to mind when I think Dinosaurus? That
What?
stupid Godzilla meme where
Which one?
the one where he has the sunglasses and he's just like, "That wasn't very cash money of you."
I've never seen that.
You've never seen that?
No, I
one?
haven't. I'm
Okay, look
sorry.
up Godzilla cash money meme.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, that's
Wait,
what comes to
Godzilla
mind when I
Cash
hear
Money meme.
Dynamosaurus. I'm imagining like a T-Rex, like maybe in a big leather jacket or something. Like Dynamosaurus. That just sounds like a dinosaur that knows what it's doing.
It does.
That sounds like it should be like a kingpin.
Downloads literally anything legally.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
You should probably delete that. We don't endorse piracy here on Horizon Radio.
Okay.
We had Dynamosaurus.
Well, you're the one who told me to look at it. So
I told you to look up the meme. I didn't tell you to pirate anything. Yeah, Dynamosaurus. It sounds like a dinosaur mob boss. Like
Dynamo? What is... Oh, dynamite. That's what it sounds like. I was like, why does that sound familiar?
Dynamite?
Yeah.
Huh? That's the pun that every dinosaur show in the world has to get out of the way. So let's just get that out of the way.
Dynamite.
Let's get that out of the way in the first episode. But anyway, eventually, the name was settled upon.
Oh.
And we got Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's like one of the coolest dinosaur names.
That is a cool name.
It literally means Tyrant Lizard King.
That is a
Like,
good name. They
You
finally
can't
got.
beat
They
that.
finally got
we
the name
finally
down.
got a good name.
They finally got the name.
T-Rex was like the first good dinosaur name. It's true, because like, if you look at all the OG dinosaurs, like Triceratops,
OG.
you know what Triceratops means?
What?
Three-horned face.
They disrespect my Triceratops.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
very upset about it.
I don't know, Sarah from The Land Before Time, that jerk deserves it.
Yeah, that's true.
She was bad.
She wasn't
She
the
was
best.
Really
but
not a very...
Triceratops, they're cool, but not the name.
No, not the name.
T-Rexes, that's pretty bomb.
That's a better name.
That's pretty
And
bomb.
Velociraptor, that name means speedy thief.
Ooh, okay, I like that one too. Why are these ones are getting the great names.
Well, it's carnivore privilege, you know. So
Yeah.
these carnivores got the better names, but really, T-Rex, that's just one of the best dinosaur names ever.
That is a
You're
really
never-
good name.
You're never gonna beat that. Tyrant Lizard King.
Who's the first one that called it a T-Rex is my question.
Well, T-Rex is okay. Gonna nerd out here.
'Kay.
So Tyrannosaurus Rex is actually the full Latin name of T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Every dinosaur has a first and a last name, we'll call it. So for T-Rex, it's Tyrannosaurus Rex. For Triceratops, it's Triceratops horridus.
That doesn't sound as
So
cool.
every animal in the world has a name like that, and the official abbreviation is always the first letter of the first name and then the last name. So T-Rex is actually an official scientific abbreviation, but it just rolls off the
It
tongue
does.
so well.
It does.
Like, man, whoever named this thing was a marketing genius.
Really though, I mean,
Because like even like the three other carnivores that are a little bit bigger than T-Rex, we're going to talk about one of them next week. That's going to be our episode next week. But
'Kay.
the other two, their names are Carcharodontosaurus.
wait, which one's that one?
It's like an Allosaurus, but bigger.
Which one has the horns?
That's Carnotaurus.
Okay.
Carnotaurus is like half the size of T-Rex. so
Okay,
that's-
well,
that's
geez,
lame.
stop hating on me. I'm just
But-
asking a question.
But the other one, that's Carcharodontosaurus, and that's a mouthful. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to hang out with Carcharodontosaurus. Like the T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, that just sounds like a cool guy. Carcharodontosaurus.
He's the mob boss, is what it is.
Yeah, Carcharodontosaurus. That just sounds like a Chad, you know?
A Chad?
Like that guy you know in high school. Like that guy you know in high school. Like, oh hey man, want to go grab some pizza later? Oh nah, bro, I got a lift. Yeah, then me and the boys are going down to the wall. We're gonna vape.
Little known
Yeah.
fact. I hate the word Chad. Not the name. The name's fine, but like the actual term it means.
Well, Carcharodontosaurus was a Chad, and the other one, the other carnivore, Giganotosaurus.
what?
Yeah, nobody.
Giganotosaurus.
Giganotosaurus. Yes.
Their names.
Well, and the sad thing is, I feel like whoever named those was trying really hard to go for the T-Rex thing, because Carcharodontosaurus means shark-toothed lizard. That's a cool.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And Giganotosaurus, okay, that means giant southern lizard.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. Well, it was South America. So.
Well, it's when I hear southern,
Yeah.
I hear southern. I think of the land down south.
Giganotosaurus was the natural predator of the flying possum. Little did you know. But anyway, back to T-Rex. So obviously, with a name like that and being the biggest carnivore known at the time, still one of the biggest today, T-Rex took off like a rocket in pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Every dinosaur thing ever had the T-Rex front and center. There were movies. The earliest dinosaur movies had like really awkward stop motion T-Rexes.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the OG interpretation of T-Rex, I like to call it the Godzilla Rex, because Godzilla was modeled after the original T-Rex.
Yeah.
Basically, this T-Rex stood a little more upright and a bit of like more almost human-like in a way.
Oh, okay.
And it had a lot shorter of a snout almost, which is weird because we knew what its skull looked like, so I don't know why.
Maybe they thought that its skull went further back. Because that's what the
I don't
picture. That's what the
know.
picture.
That's-
We're also looking at the pictures that you guys can't see.
I posted the T-Rex one on our Instagram the other
Okay.
day, so
Great.
But yeah, which really standing upright for a predator, that's really impractical, you know? Because
Yeah.
like the chest is a pretty weak spot.
That's
And
true.
It's just especially because the T-Rex, for little fact for you, T-Rex's natural prey was Triceratops, which was a dinosaur that had these big horns.
That's so sad.
Standing upright like that,
That's
fighting those things
true.
with the horns, that would just leave like one of the most vulnerable parts of its body
Yeah.
open.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
So the more study that was conducted on T-Rex, see, in the mid 1900s, when it became common knowledge that dinosaurs didn't drag their tails on the ground, they started to think that maybe T-Rex didn't quite look like that.
Yeah.
That maybe T-Rex stood more parallel to the ground, its chest was not exposed,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it was a little less bulky than we
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
Maybe it was a little more speedy. Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
a little
T-Rex.
more speedy.
Yeah, a little more light. You know, T-Rex. The T-Rex also did keto back in the day.
Oh,
so you
that's
know,
how it looked like
T-Rex.
that. Okay.
He kept a mean physique, even though he skipped arm day.
Oh, but that's
But-
okay. You know, that's all right.
So in about the 1970s, our modern interpretation of the T-Rex started to become common knowledge. but it didn't really take off in pop culture. Because if you look back at cartoons, like cartoons, movies, books, everything still had the Godzilla T-Rex. Like, for whatever reason, people just thought the Godzilla T-Rex looked cooler. Like, the real T-Rex, as we're going to call it, people weren't too big on that. You know, like, I remember when I was a kid, I'm sure if my parents are listening, they're going to remember this. I hated the real T-Rex at first because like I had all those picture books back in the day where it had the Godzilla T-Rex. I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Yeah, for whatever reason, I didn't like the real T-Rex. Like I thought that looked lame for some reason. But what changed my mind changed a lot of people's minds.
That's like an SUV versus a sports car.
Yeah,
like you're like
yeah, like the old T-Rex was dependable, you know?
Maybe it's like an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Like a fine wine or something like that.
Old T-Rex was dependable. It was rustic.
Yeah.
So to speak. Then here comes this hot rod Mustang T-Rex coming in, just like, sup.
Yeah.
So,
He took over town. When I first saw the T-Rex, well, at first I was like trying to be cool. I was like, T-Rex isn't my favorite dinosaur because that's too cliche.
Well, T-Rex is the best dinosaur.
It is the best dinosaur.
I'll have to do an episode on this later on, like why T-Rex is objectively the best dinosaur.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Let's do it.
So what really skyrocketed the real T-Rex into pop culture was in 1993, this little indie film came out. You may or may not have heard of it. It was directed by some hack named Steven Spielberg. Yeah, it was Jurassic Park. Don't know if you've heard of it.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, don't know. Really, little known.
Yeah, it
indie
sounds like
film.
it's just like.
Yeah, but anyway, so Jurassic Park came out and it was a huge hit. This movie, like, it was huge. This thing was one of the biggest movies of all time. It was everywhere in the 90s. And this is what made the real T-Rex a star.
Ooh.
Like, this is what made people realize, Mustang, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, the Mustang T-Rex. The Mustang T-Rex is pretty cool. Like, what the heck was wrong with us?
Yeah.
So next thing you know, everywhere is the Mustang T-Rex. So that's how the real T-Rex went from the underdog to the face of all dinosaurs everywhere.
I love that. I just imagine him like trying out for all these different positions. Like he's like, I'm gonna make it big one day. I'm gonna make it big one day. You know, as a dead dinosaur.
And you know, it's kind of funny because you know, The Land Before Time came out in the late '80s, so this was long before we knew. So this is
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is long after we knew that the Mustang T-Rex was the real thing, and they didn't even want that in their cartoon, which is really weird because like if you go and watch The Land Before Time, all of those movies, because like a lot of them, like they still are making those to this day, and like to this day they still use like the retro early 1900s dinosaurs that like drag their tails and look like the old, not the old steampunk, like the gator hippo thing. That's not in The Land Before Time, but like they still use the old dinosaurs. Like every single one of those to this day still uses the Godzilla T-Rex.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna be one of those jerks that thinks we have to strive for scientific inaccuracy and everything. And, you know. Old school dinosaurs, like retro dinosaurs, those have a special place in my heart because they're not accurate, but they're rustic.
Yeah,
you know,
they're the original.
They're the OGs.
Yes,
like, they failed so the Mustang dinosaurs could succeed. So
succeed they did.
Succeed they did because Jurassic Park was a smash hit.
Yes,
we have 5 of those movies now, and they just made dinosaurs cool again.
Yeah, they did.
And, you know, if you look at it now, the Mustang T-Rex really made it big because it was in such classics as Meet the Robinsons. It had a big head and little arms.
I got a big head, little arms.
Wasn't very sure of how well this plan was thought through. Nobody ever finishes that line. That always irks me. So
I apologize, but I'm glad you finished it anyways.
You know, I'm gonna lead us into our next episode here because we're almost out of time. But there were dinosaurs that time was a lot more cruel to, and one in particular, the largest carnivore that ever lived. Time was not good to this boy.
Dang.
This is a dinosaur that has had a rough history, and we're going to talk more about that next week. We're going to talk about what makes Spinosaurus the Nickelback of dinosaurs.
Dang, that's a title.
Well,
all right.
He released a couple of really terrible albums, became one of the most hated artists of the 2000s,
Woo!
and then married a woman infinitely out of his league.
Oh.
So,
that was great.
Yeah, and then she divorced him 2 years later. So, it was Avril Lavigne, by the way. Anyway, okay, enough of my Nickelback subtweeting. So, guys, This has been Let's Talk Dinosaurs. This is our first episode. Yeah, awesome job. Let's give ourselves a round of applause here. Yeah,
I miss you, Charlie.
Charlie, you are forever in our thoughts. Yeah, Charlie will be
Yes.
back next week, guys, for the first half of the show. Charlie actually has class right after our show, so he is only going to be able to be on for the first half hour. But yeah, next week, come back, same time, same place. We're going to be talking about Spinosaurus and why it was pretty much the Nickelback of dinosaurs, how it had a really rocky history, and how it became one of the most hated dinosaurs in dinosaur fan circles. So yeah, don't go anywhere though, because I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be playing music for you guys for the next hour or so. We're going to have a couple of songs here on the radio for you, or actually no, we only got 1 minute before the news, so let's just keep things going here for a couple minutes here. So anyway, yeah, guys, this has been a lot of fun, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. Again, please follow our social medias. We're at Let's Talk Dinosaurs on Instagram and at Let's Talk Dinos on Twitter.
Exclusive
So,
content.
yeah, a lot of memes. It's kind of funny, because we got to appeal to Gen Z, right?
That's true.
But now that we have T-Pose Rex on our side, I posted.
Someone's gotta make
I
that.
posted this side by side the other day on our Instagram that had the Godzilla T-Rex and the Mustang T-Rex.
Oh, okay.
And I put the caption, "Name a better glow up." I'll wait.
You're so cool, Billy.
So anyway, guys, my name's Billy Reed.
My name's Kirsten.
That's Kirsten, and again, just
Miss Charlie.
pour one out for Charlie. But we'll be back next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock. It doesn't look like the news is going to play automatically, so it looks like Green Day is next up on the queue. So what better way to end this off than to listen to some Green Day here? Again, guys, thank you very much.